Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. For today's preview, England versus Wales, the repeat of last weekend's fixture, where Wales actually finally broke the longest, I think the longest losing streak they'd ever had in history by beating England. But this weekend it's two brand new teams. It's a new venue as well in Twickenham, and it's still a lot to play for a lot of these players. England naming their World Cup squad earlier this week. And so we're just going to start getting an idea of exactly what sort of Steve Borthwick is trying to cook up. Similarly with Gatlin, get an idea of exactly where he's at with regards to, his squad and the players that he's going to really back come basically 4 weeks tomorrow when the World Cup does get underway. So we really are into the sort of the final stretch of matches and preparation before the World Cup does start. So interesting to sort of see your combinations and loose trios, for example, center combinations, halfback pairings, who's going to be who in the zoo when it comes to those teams being named for the actual World Cup, and sort of which players are going to become important and key players for the both coaches who are under a lot of pressure to try and deliver with a short amount of preparation. They're both appointed, within the last 12 months. Basically this year, really, and both only had one Six Nations campaign to sort of get this team right. So there's a lot of pressure on both of them to try and sort of do a quick fix. It's a little bit like Eddie Jones as well. But in terms of the teams that have been selected, we'll start with the home side, which is England. As you can see, Owen Farrell does return. He will captain the side after being named as the captain for the World Cup. And very importantly, he will be at 10. After a brilliant Premiership season for the Saracens at 10, he is back in his preferred jersey. I do think he very much looks at himself as an out-and-out 10. I do think it's where he's the best. And it'll be interesting to see who will start at 10 come the World Cup. They haven't named a lot of centres out of England. They did name Owen Farrell as a 10, but we all know he can play inside centre. So that sort of dynamic in itself, I think, will be quite interesting with regards to who's going to be first choice, second choice, 10 going into the World Cup. But in fact, there's no Marcus Smith in the 23 this weekend. So in the terms of the starting lineup, Joe Marler, Jamie George, Will Stewart will front up in the front row. Mari Toje returns to the fold, and he will partner George Martin in the locks. The loose trio is Courtney Laws, Ben Earl, Billy Vunipola. Probably a couple of question marks around Laws and Vunipola's fitness levels. Vunipola is always somebody who's sort of sometimes struggled a little bit with his fitness. When he's at his best and his fittest, he's a pretty destructive player. Courtney Laws has not had as much game time for England in the last sort of year that he would like to. But back when he was playing for England, he was probably their most important player. Absolutely world class when he plays well. So big game for him. Jack van Portleet will partner Owen Farrell in the halfback pairing. Elliot Daly, Henry Rundle, the two wings. Ollie Lawrence will partner Joe Marchand in the centres. Freddie Stewart at fullback there as well. Off the bench, it's Theo Dan, Ellis Genge, Dan Cole. Johnny Hill, Jack Willis will cover the rest of the scrum. Ben Youngs comes back with all that experience. George Ford and then Max Malins are the three backline replacements. In terms of your team that Warren Gatland has named, this is it. It's a brand new team. It's a first start for the likes of a Tane Plumtree. But in terms of captaincy, Dewey Lake will take the captain's armband, and he will start next to Gareth Thomas and Thomas Francis in the front row. Rhys Davies partners Adam Beard in the second row. Adam Beard, for me, I think one of the most important players actually going into the World Cup. Dan Liddy from the back of his sort of resurgence in international rugby gets an opportunity in the sixth. Tommy Turnover, as they call him, rifle in the number 7. Tane Plumtree, son of John Plumtree, will get his first start after getting his first cap for Wales last weekend. It's the Williams halfback pairing, and Thomas Williams and Owen Williams, and they'll go in the 9-10. Tom Rogers, Josh Adams, the two wings. Josh Adams will actually be bringing up his 50th appearance for Wales when he takes to the field. Nick Tompkins, Joe Roberts, the centre pairing. Big fan of Nick Tompkins. Very interested to sort of see whether he will be the starting inside centre for the World Cup. Potentially probably next to George North, you'd imagine. Then Liam Williams is back at fullback. Very cool to have the likes of Aaliyah Halfpenny, Liam Williams as your two fullback options. Off the bench, it is Sam Perry, Kemsley Matthias, Dylan Lewis. You think of Christians, Tane Basham, Kieran Hardy, Dan Bigger, and Kieran Williams. So a nice mixture of youth and experience on that bench. It's a pretty good Welsh side. I'm very keen to see how certain of these players go. And for England, I think a lot of people are kind of waiting to see, will we start to see their identity this weekend? Will we start to see the Borthwick way and how he wants them to play? How far away are we potentially from seeing exactly what he wants to do? And how much better can they get before the World Cup? So as I said, it's two teams, two coaches very much in transition periods, trying to get things right in a very short space of time. And it's going to be fascinating to see how that sort of unfolds over the next few weeks. Let me know what your score prediction are down in the comments below. Please do smash the like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.